Hello and welcome to Tax Matters. We have a big fish in the house. We have the Executive Chairman FIRS, Chairman Joint Tax Board, and we dare say the #1 taxman in Nigeria, Mr. Muhammad Nami. Executive Chairman, sir, welcome to Tax Matters.
Thank you very much, Amaka. I appreciate you for having me.
Thank you, sir. It's good to have you once again on the show.
Thank you.
Sir, we are now in the 8th month of the year 2021, and we must commend the service for the superlative performance in June. Now, against the overall target for the year 2021, how would you say you're doing?
Well, we're doing very well, though we're not at a destination that we ordinarily want to be, because the plan of every tax man, and possibly an head of agency like our own, that has a target to pursue, is that you meet your target in good time, so that in the last part of the year, which is probably the Q4, you are able to relax and now continue to strategize for the year that will come, that is the year 2022. We are not able to do that yet because we are still halfway of what actually we are asked to collect. The records or results are a bit better than what we got last year, but I think with time, and we are very confident that at the end of the year, we are likely to achieve the target that has been given to us by the federal government. But let's note also that the target in the media is target that is made up of what the federal government gave us at the beginning of the year, and what we also have added as additional management target, so that we have a year that we're able to collect revenue on behalf of government better than the years that have better than the year 2020. And another thing is also the electronic money transfer levy that federal government put its own budget and transfer the responsibility of collection to FIRS. And with the few challenges we're having in administering that electronic money transfer levy, we hope that other tax types will now make up the figure, so that at least we're able to deliver on our mandate.
That's heartwarming, sir.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Now, the Finance Acts, that is that of 2019 and 2020, have far-reaching provisions on and for tax administration in Nigeria. How have these Finance Acts impacted your operations? Have they impacted the operations of the service negatively or positively?
No, we cannot conclude that there's any provision of the law or the Finance Act 2019 or 2020 that has impacted on our operations negatively. Rather, some of the provisions come with some challenges, and with challenge, a window of opportunity is open for you to be able to do more or do better, except for issues that has to do with exemptions of businesses or taxpayers that have a threshold of turnover of 0 naira to 25. I think the Finance Act 2019 and 2020 have been good instrument that is assisting us in blocking leakages in tax administration system. And it's also an instrument that we are using in ramping up revenue for government, particularly the value-added tax that is now 7.5%.
Still on the impact of the Finance Acts 2019 and 2020, Mr. Nami made this revelation on the antics of some business owners.
We do know that, yes, some categories of taxpayers were exempted which is the set of people that I mentioned before. And we have now seen a window where some people are trying to exploit to further undermine the reforms or the ability of government to ramp up revenue from them as agent of collection. But the 7.5% that the rate was 7.1, which was a 50% increase on the rate before December 20 or before February 2020, is actually helping in breaching the gap that the aggressive schemes are creating for us as a result of that threshold, which people now use in some cases to split their turnover into two. Some pay part of their collections into companies at hand, and in some cases they pay the balance into another company's account. But the message from us to all of them is that whether you pay it to your personal account or you pay it to another body corporate, we'll still catch up with you, because you cannot operate a bank account without a BVN. You cannot, going forward, operate a bank account without NIN. You cannot operate a business and you feel we are not going to be able to use the concept of related parties to be able to identify that this money belongs to the actual business that you operate. The second thing that it may be a disadvantage to them in the future is that when you have money that is your company's money paid to your personal account, then you risk paying more taxes on that income. This is because in the case of companies, you have opportunity to make claims for input VAT, for instance, when it comes to VAT. And when it is for companies, when you're preparing financial statement, the ordinary course of your returns to FIRS, your direct and indirect costs will be deducted. But when it comes to the states, because when you pay money into your personal account, invariably you become a taxpayer that should pay taxes to the state. And the states do not have this kind of opportunities for you to be able to deduct a lot of expenses that you incur. So instead of paying to FIRS, paying less, you are shooting yourself in the foot by submitting yourself to the state internal revenue, who will only give you 20% of that total income as an allowance, together with only 200,000. And the difference of the 80% you pay as high as 24% on it. So it is always better to be very honest, truthful, and respect the laws of the land. If you run away from the federal government, the only little thing you are doing is that you are denying other states from having share in this income. But the state you run to will get more.
The attention of the Federal Inland Revenue Service has been drawn to trending reports that on the 19th of August 2021, the government of Rivers State took steps to enact a value-added tax law for Rivers State following the judgment of the Federal High Court Port Harcourt Division on the 9th of August 2021. The FIRS wishes to inform the general public that before the above-mentioned steps taken by the government of Rivers State, the FIRS had lodged an appeal against the above judgment and had also filed an application for stay of execution of the judgment, as well as asking the court for an injunction pending determination of the appeal. Both applications were heard on the 19th and 20th August 2021. Given that the Court of Appeal is yet to rule on the appeal from the judgment of the Federal High Court, and that the Federal High Court is yet to deliver a ruling on the FIRS applications for stay of execution and injunction, members of the public are advised to continue to comply with their value-added tax obligations until the matter is resolved by the appellate courts. Failure to do this will attract applicable penalties and interest. The statement is signed by Dr. Ablahi Ismaila Ahmad, Director, Communications and Liaison Department, FIRS. Welcome back. We still have with us the Executive Chairman FIRS, Chairman Joint Tax Board, the #1 taxman in Nigeria. Executive Chairman, sir, welcome once again.
Thank you.
We must commend the service on the deployment of the Tax Pro Max tax administration solution. We'd like to know how far so far.
That is a big question that I would have loved my tax pro team to answer. But as their head, because I'm the chief program officer, I should be able to say so far so good. Unlike what the pessimist told Nigerians, the system is now working seamlessly. And through the system, in the month of June alone, we collected 664 billion for Nigerian government.
Kudos, sir. Now, sir, our viewers have shown a lot of interest regarding the federal government rules, infrastructural tax credit policy, under which tax credit is extended to private sector operators to encourage them to help in building infrastructure. How is this working, sir?
Well, the scheme is an opportunity for taxpayers to do two things. One, invest in our economy. Number two, invest in our infrastructure to be able to bridge the gap, the huge infrastructure gap that we have as it is constituted as it is today in Nigeria. So as far as the investment is concerned, when you take advantage of the scheme, you are given an instrument, a certificate that will finally give to taxpayers. That instrument, you can even trade it on this floor for stock exchange, in the Nigeria Stock Exchange. That certificate is a thing that you can use as a bank guarantee or collateral in the bank to collect loan, or for the bank to give you some support for you to be able to do one or two things with your client, with your business partners within and outside Nigeria. So it's a scheme that is mutually beneficial for the Nigerian people, or for the government on behalf of Nigerian people, and is equally very, very beneficial to the taxpayers that take advantage of it. And as far as the government also is concerned, we have companies, including multinationals, that are key into it and picking up roads worth about 200, 300 kilometers, and they are constructing it based on standard that is given to them by government, and they are supervised by both the Ministry of Works and this other agency that is in charge of these PPP programs. So when you have situations like that, you will realize that the government that is hitherto lacking funds for purpose of building this infrastructure is getting those funds on a platter of gold, and they are able to do more for the country. Yeah.
That's really interesting. But we're a little bit curious. I want to know, is the service not losing money? Is it not affecting the tax?
The essence of tax collection is for government to have money to fund its budgetary requirement. If you have 200-300 roads being constructed by a contractor, or who's called it a taxpayer, sorry, you're already having a lot of money to fund your budgetary needs. So I think Nigerian government and Nigerians are better off with the scheme.
Now, sir, on assumption of office, you laid down a 4-point agenda detailing your goals and strategies. Now, I'd like to know, are you on course?
We made a promise when we came on board that we are going to pursue those cardinal principles or cardinal goal. And we give glory to God that so far so good, we are making progress. The first item is to make FIRS a data-centric organization. And I think we are doing that already with the deployment of technology. We also have come on board with the system in such a manner that we have come up with intelligence Strategic Data Mining, and Analysis Department. What this do for us is that these are the people that going forward will be mining data that the tax operation groups, enforcement support functions, and compliance support functions will be using for purpose of analyzing or risk profiling, at the same time purpose of analyzing and reducing some of the figures that or data that we'll be getting in terms of gap that are identified for purpose of raising more revenue for the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is already yielding positive results, I can assure you, because on the press of button today, if I type out your name with your BVN, I know who you are, I know what you are worth, and I know what is due from you as tax revenue. So on that, I think we have made substantial progress, and we will continue to improve on that. We also have agreed to make it taxpayer-friendly environment that we said is a customer-centric organization. We are doing that. We are communicating with taxpayers. We are doing a lot of publications on a virtually weekly basis through the social media, through the online platforms, other online platforms, and the print media to guide and educate taxpayers, sensitize them on what is expected of them. And if you expect something from somebody, you tell him how he should do it. So we do that also to tell them this is the guidelines for which will help you in complying with the tax provisions of our law. Then we're also able now to get closer to them, talk to them on a one-on-one basis. We have always had carry-outs and study sessions. In some of them, I'm physically present to talk to Nigerians that this is the only way to go. We're moving a step further to now talk to Nigerians also in the languages that they all understand. If you're a NUPIEMA, we're going to engage a staff that is a NUPIEMA to talk to you in the language you understand. And this is the way it goes to the Igbo land, or what it goes in the east, or in the western part, the southwest part of this country. Another key one is to rebuild the institution. So we have done a lot in that, because I've said earlier, we have unbundled the system. We have come up with some departments that we feel is key, like the Intelligence Strategic Data Mining Department. We've come up with also Special Tax Department, which is to, going forward, be like the research-based department, which will look inward and see what are the emerging opportunities. How do we key into those opportunities? How do we make that opportunity our strength? We're already doing that. Then we also have, on the other hand, realize that some departments are not necessary in the first place, so we close them. And as a result of that, we have 7 groups in this system. So this is the way we have unbundled the system to making sure that we're able to reposition FIRS for efficient and effective service delivery.
As a whole lot. You are also on record to have stated that 2 things are the driving forces of tax administration from 2021. That is emphasis on indirect taxes and emphasis on the use of technology. Yes, we know you've spoken about the tax promise, you spoke about the EMT and the likes. But we'd like to know, how are you doing in the both regard? We are looking at the record of the performance in the collection of VAT, stamp duty, EMT.
The National Tax Policy Implementation Document, in the course of trying to support business entities to grow from a certain level to another level, we have segmented taxpayers into 3: small and micro taxpayers, where the medium taxpayers and the large taxpayers. So if at a point you are still at the primary segment, which is the small and micro tax-paying group, government encourages you to be able to use the little you get, yeah, to reinvest in your business so that you are able to grow and become a median taxpayer. And it is as a result of that that the tax rate that is payable by the people in this segment is as low as 20%. It is as a result of that some of them do not even act as agent of collection. It's as a result of that some of their income are even completely exempted from paying taxes. So the emphasis of the National Tax Policy Implementation document is now on indirect taxes, because the money you do not need to part with your own wealth. Government is also asking you to please help us collect this. Just the popular example I always give. I appoint you as an agent to manage my property. All you need to do when you collect the rent, you remit to me and keep your agency fee. The fact is that indirect taxes are consumption based. So it is impossible for you to consume a service or buy a product without paying for it, or else the product will not be delivered to you, or you are not going anywhere with the product that you have bought. This is the strategy of government. It's very easy to pay. People pay without knowing that they are paying, and it is an opportunity for government to be able to generate money to fund its budgetary requirement. And on the other side, on the issue of technology, we have a process today that is digitalized for everything everybody does in Nigeria or globally. One thing or the other, it's either Internet of Things, you have a phone, you have a computer. People don't physically see you anymore. Even shopping. I can decide to remain in my house in the next 1 month without going out. Yes, I'll place order for food and it will be delivered to me when I need it. I need the food delivered. I want provisions in my house. The supermarket are there to send it to my house. I want raw food from the farm. The supermarket or their agents are there to deliver them. So when I'm spending on consumption, when I'm spending on a lot of essential goods, when I'm spending on luxury, and nobody is seeing me, it becomes an issue for the revenue authority to be able to police me. So what we now do is to now match the strategy, the innovation, and the opportunity with the deployment of technology. So as the transactions are happening, we are equally visibly seeing you, and we're able to collect taxes using technology.
All right, sir. Finally, before we let you go, you've spoken a lot on the indirect taxes, which is now the way to go. But we'd like to know if there are other steps you're taking, apart from the ones you've mentioned, to continue to contribute to Nigeria beyond oil.
The emphasis now in the government policy is to emphasize revenue from the petroleum sector is actually drying up because of so many challenges that we're facing. So government is diversifying its economy to the non-oil. And what we have done in that case is, one, to now place our emphasis on the indirect taxes through value-added tax, so that when you consume product, even if it's a service, you pay your fair share of taxes. And we have also come up with a lot of innovations within the system. The intelligence department, I asked you that was told, the special tax department, which is now going to be able to do research into emerging activities like digital currency. We'll talk about probably road-related taxes, because it's only in Nigeria that you build road for people to use for free. In other countries, as you are moving, you will just notice a sign in the car, because everything is digitalized. By the time you step through the road, there's a sensitive instrument or equipment that take money from your account immediately. As taxpayers, myself and you, pay are being taken from our monthly salary, and roads are being built with this money. The owners of these trucks that ply this road, for instance, the informal sector that use this road, without paying anything.
Thank you very much, Executive Chairman, sir.
Thank you very much for your support. We appreciate it.
You've heard it all from the Executive Chairman FIRS himself, the Chairman Joint Tax Board. We all have to join hands to make Nigeria great by paying our taxes as and at when due.